Welcome to the D&D basement. It's been a while since I did something in English. I'm doing this because it's been quite some time. It's something I wanted to do for a while for my English auditory spectators. More auditory. I'm not even sure that's a word. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. It's part of the stream that I wanted to do, part of the videos I wanted to do, which is called Let's Draw, because this is something I like to do. I like drawings. I'm not the best. I do my work as it is, but I'm not the best, and I really need a lot of things to make it work. But yeah, this is an English video, so for the usual, for those who don't know, up to this point you've been, for a few weeks, a few months, you've been seeing only French D&D campaigns going on the channel, and it's been something that I wanted to do something else, but between my job, my streams, and my YouTube channel, my D&D YouTube channel, it's something that I don't have much time for. So yeah, usually what I do is I take some I usually take some time from playing games, and I will just do things. So yeah. Alright. I was asking one of my friends if they wanted to come see the show. She doesn't have time, that's what she's saying, so yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so today we're gonna do this this thing where I just draw some characters, because I like drawing characters, and it's something I like to do. So yeah, we're gonna draw some characters. The first thing you should know about this is that I am not all that great. Everything I do is from computers. I do have a sketchbook, and I do try to draw manually, but I'm really better at computers. So I'm gonna do this with my computer, and that's gonna be it. Now, the one thing you will see is my process, and my process, you will see in that process that I am not doing things. I'm trying to save work. It takes time for me. Like, just drawing a sketch can take me all the way up to 30 or even an hour, 2 hours even sometimes. Like, I tried to start the project for today, just set it up. I haven't done the sketch completely for now. I just did the basics of it, and just doing that took me about an hour and a half, and it's just the basics. So that tells you a lot about how I draw stuff. We're gonna use Adobe Photoshop for drawing. So yeah, you're warned, this is Adobe Photoshop 5.5. It's an old thing, but yeah, that's it. So, okay. So the first thing, I'm gonna tell you what I need right now, and it is that I have two channels. Well, I have one channel, but two pages on it, two chains. And the first one is my gaming channel, which is here, all in French. Usually, it is my stream. I stream there when I play games, and that's it. If you want to talk to me, my D&D Pally Twitter account is over there, and if you want, and the channel you're on right now for YouTube is my D&D Basement channel. And if you want to give me some tips, well, it's right over here, down at the bottom. So go ahead and give me some tips if you like what I'm doing. If you don't, I don't care. Just watch it with me, play with me, do things as I do. I decided to do this in English for my English spectators, because my D&D Basement channel started as an English channel, and it was not really French, and I decided to just go try it for French. So yeah, I'm gonna speak in English right now, and that's gonna be what we see every time. If someone speaks to me in French in the chat, I will answer in French, of course. But the reality is, this is my channel, and it is English. Sometimes it's gonna be English, most of the time it's gonna be French. But right now, this one is in English. So I'm gonna try to broaden my ways, just trying to see if I can go from English or French or whatever. Alright. Now that all of this is out of the way, we're gonna jump right in, right away. The first thing I'm gonna tell you is that I'm gonna talk to you about this character that we're drawing. She's a tiefling. It's from D&D campaign that I'm running, not the one that you see on this game. But it's a D&D channel, and it's a character that has been following the players for a while. I like making NPCs that just go there, and sometimes they are as playable as character would be. The only thing that's important is that you don't choose for the players. Many players tells us that it's impossible to play as a DM to play a character with the players, and that's totally false. People have to remember that we DMs have like 150 characters. Every NPCs in NPC non-playable characters, there is the word character. So we are playing characters the same way players do, and we do the whole world. The only difference is that players have one character to play each, while we DMs have like 150 to play at the same time. So it's something that I do often. I just make a character that I like, that I want to play, and I just put it on in a way. I just wait for the right moment and then pull an arc for it. But here's the catch. First of all, before you start doing that with your players, you need to know two things about these characters. The first is that they are not all-knowing. They are not omniscient. You might be the DM, you know what's coming, you know everything about the game. That character you are playing does not. You have to be able to you have to be able to put containers in your head. And each containers for each character is like, that character, who did he know about the current plot? If the answer is no, then why would you be able to give information about that? You should not. That character should not be able to. It's a simple question, really. Just a question that needs to be answered is, does that character would know? As a DM, you already do that all the time. I mean, when they go to the blacksmith, does your blacksmith know that that dude is actually a dragon in disguise trying to corrupt the world? No, he's not. He's just a blacksmith doing his job. He's not. He does not know that. So why would that character, that NPC, know about the dragon? So, yeah, that's something you have to be able to do. And as a DM, you should be able to do that. So the first thing people do about DM players is that mostly they have bad experiences. And those experiences are people who wants to play the game and not DM. Those DMs, I can assure you, does not go along. They do not do well. And usually their game loses their entirety, their consistency. So yeah, as a DM, you already do that. So what's gonna happen now is that this character is a tiefling, and she's actually a devil. She's a possessing devil. She's a tiefling, female, male. She's hermaphrodite, which means that she is, as much as she is a female character, she's also a male character. She's able to go from one side to the other with ease. So yeah, she has both organs, she has everything she needs to be both at the same time. This is something I wanted to play just for fluff, and it's a weird thing to play. She passes as a young child, like 12-year-old, but in reality she's much older than that. She's also a bard, so she has bardic inspiration and everything, and I created my own subclass for that I call the College of Possession. The College of Possession. Basically, she can put marks on people, a mark on a person or something, and then she can try to possess that person. And once she has possessed that person, she does not necessarily take control of that person. But she can share her abilities. She can share her spells, she can share everything. But here's the catch. While she is possessing people, she cannot cast her stuff unless she takes full control of the person. If she takes full control of the person will change to reflect that it is her. So there is no way for her to possess someone and for it to be entirely nobody knows that I am possessing a person. So it's something I'm trying. It's hard to kill a creature that can just hide inside someone else, but we'll see as the game goes. For now, the players really like it, but here's the catch. She's a devil, and right now she's been sent by an archdevil, which one of the players has made a pact with. One of the players signed an actual contract with that archdevil, and that archdevil sent Zekarath, which is the name of the character we're gonna draw, and that character is there to keep a link between the archdevil and the player, and at the same time she's there to corrupt the player. He already signed, but the reality is that character, that player, is too good. So Zekarath is trying to corrupt that player. And in the contract, which they signed for this one, it says that Zekarath is there to help that player in any way she can. I gotta remind you, she's not omniscient, she does not have all the powers in the world. So if they has to revive someone, she will accept, but she will have to find someone who can revive. She has to do the work. So the player is knowing that she can't do everything. Like right now, they ask her to bring them to the bad guy. Like they thought, oh, she can teleport us, she's strong, she's powerful. No, she's not. But that's the thing. They asked her, and she said, yes, I will, but it may take time. And they said, okay. They thought about an hour. It was a 3-day trek. She found the location, she called upon her contacts, she found the location of the bad guy because she did not know that bad guy. She knew nothing of that bad guy. So she used her contact through sending, which she has. She used her contact. She found the bad guy, and now she has brought them to the right place. And the characters are like, I thought we were gonna teleport. And she was like, I don't have that. I don't have any teleportation means. And the player was laughing. The others were saying that, but the player was laughing. Because really, in the contract, it never says anything about how she can help. So, in one point, they asked her to help during a fight, during a battle against a boss they wanted to get wrecked. She did. The boss casted darkness, she casted dispel magic, and that was it. That's the only help she gave. That's all. nothing in the contract asked her to do anything else. So that's what she does. And then in the contract, it is said that every time they ask the player asks her something to do, or him to do something, she asks him something in return, and that player must do that. So here's what happened. In one of the sessions, they asked her to help against the bad guy. She did the dispel magic. Once that fight was over, she asked that player, while possessing it to make sure that nobody else understands, she asked that player to steal a precious gem from one of the other players. Small, simple, effective. So the player, here's the fact, the player had to steal something from the other player, but he did not want to steal something from the other player. So he had a gem, he had gems in his pack. He took one of them, a small one worth about 1 gold piece, really small, gave it to another player. That player put it into his pack, and then during the night, that player, the player that made the pack just looked for that same gem and took it back. Here we go. That player thought he was clever, but in reality he gave away the gem. So he still stole it from a player. So yeah, that's an evil act. He thought he was clever, like, I stole it but without stealing it. But the reality is he gave it away. He gave it to the other player, so now it was the property of the other player. And then he stole it back. Which still an evil act. You gave something away and then stole it back without telling the other person. That's all I was asking for. That's all I wanted from that character. So they're going back and forth like this. He's asking something for her and she's just asking him something. So yeah, that's the character we're gonna do. It's just a devil. So let's jump right into it, and I'll give you something. I'll show you some of the things before we start. Alright. So everything I've been telling in the last 20 minutes was just yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is why you should always check about your microphone and everything. Usually I do that, and now I just did not do it. This is why you should always check about your microphone and everything. Merci Marie-Lie pour m'avoir dit ça. J'aurais dû checker mes affaires avant, d'habitude je le fais, puis là je suis comme... J'ai rien fait. C'est ridicule. Alright. Okay, let's say that everything I've told up to this point was just never told because it was not told. Basically, what we do now, what we have here that you could see is that I need a description for the character, and it is that description that we're gonna use. As you could see, we have personality traits, we have ability scores, mysteries for the characters that they need, and anything else that I may need for document. But right now we're using description, and description is what we're gonna use. I'm gonna resume that character again because I need to talk to you about what the character is. The character is actually a devil in the game, and it's following the players. And the goal is that one of the players made a pact with an archdevil, and that pact includes this character. And this character is something I use to play along the players as a DM and everything. And I know what many of you will say, that this is bullshit and DM should never play along with their players. But the reality is the players will ask you to play with them at some point. So we do this all the time. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna use this description to draw the character. I've already started, I already did a lot of things, but I'm gonna show you what I use. Just making sure that the voice is okay. Okay, with everything, so everything's fine, we're still okay with it. Alright. So the first thing we're gonna do is show everything about it. We're gonna write a description, and then I'll show you how I go up to process that. First thing first, in the description, she's a tiefling, young teenager. I'm going with that. I don't put an age. Usually people would put an age like 12, 16 or something like that. I don't. I prefer to go with adults, older adults, like very old adults, or like teenagers, young teenagers, kid, things like that. She is not a male nor a female. She's actually hermaphrodite. She has both sex. She can be both. She has a vibrant red robe that shows a bit of her, that shows quite a bit of her attributes when she has them. Her right here has 5 rings onto it, and embedded with precious gems of varied colors. Her skin is pale red, pretty much a bit more reddish than ours. Right now we have pink skin, but she's more pink than that, which makes contrast with the robes. She has 2 black horns that goes from the front here, goes all the way back. They're crossing. They are crossing at the back, and then comes back right here under her ears. Now her hair, she has long the black hair that are just I don't know that word in English, but they're actually just done. They're using their ponytails, like not ponytails, but I don't know that word in English, sorry. Braided. She has braided hair, black braided hair, and they're going all the way to their back, on the way to the back. The point of each braid is a vibrant red. She has vibrant red hair at the end. She has makeup on her lips, red glossy makeup with some kind of brilliant on it. She has red eyes, red on her eyes, and black lines just to complement the red eyes under the eyes. The eyes are gonna be a really hard thing to do for me. So yeah. Aside from that, she has runes tattooed on her left hand. On the top, she has the rune for enchantment, the rune for the spell category, the spell school enchantment, and that's in her palm. Sorry, that's in her palm. And on the top of her hand, there's two more runes, which is illusion and evocation. Her left hand is black, and she has claws about an inch long that comes out of her fingers. The right hand is normal, right, with her nails painted red, and she takes real good care of that hand. And that's pretty much the description. So that's what we have to describe the character and do the character. So that's what we have. So the first thing first that we'll start is go into our doll software, which I use, which is Artpose Pro, which is our doll character. And we can actually do a lot. We can play with the size of what we want. We can play with the shape of the character. In this case, she'd be really, really small and everything. She is not much. In the corner, the right corner, we can have objects now. In the newer versions, they can have objects. We can also have controls for weapons, canes, bags, everything of the sort. Like we have this staff. We can have a gun in both hands. But here's the catch. Now I need to remember really big gun. Now I need to remember where we go to remove those things. No, that just adds more. I don't remember where we go to remove those. Doesn't really matter. I already did all of this. It's just to show you things. You can actually play with the character the way you want them to. You can move them in some way, rotate them. It's all uses the mouse. You just do what you want. You can just spin him. And as you can see, the character will refuse to spin in a way it should not spin. So it can spin in some ways. But there are other ways where the character can just spin in a weird, funny way like this. You see, that kind of stuff. You can decide if it's a female or a man. In the light, you can have actual hair if you want to, beard. There's not much to it, but they are there. You can actually play with what you want. I like this one better because this one can actually decide what kind of color I want. So if I want less shadows, I'm going for this. If I want like real lighting, and if I want more shadows, I can just diminish until it's all shadows. But I like this one because this one shows us something. And if you just use your mouse, you can actually move the light around. Like this is entirely over the top, this is here at the bottom, or behind. And if you move the character, the lighting is actually true to what it should be. This looks like Jesus, damn. If you want muscle, you can have actual muscle. You can have them in black and white or just muscles. This is something I don't really use because I'm not really into muscles. If I want muscles, I do something else. But that's about it. Now you can go into the camera and you can set the camera the way you want to. So if I want to be closer, if I want to be far further, I want the camera to be right here. I want the character to be looking this way. You can do a lot, and you can decide the type of body it has. Now in this case it's a female, and here if you go into this little one, you have actually a lot of already made poses. So yeah, like this, or we can go back like this, ready to fire our weapons, and have the other weapon there, and she's just, yeah. Once you have chosen that, you can still go back here to the character and just start moving around. So I want her, let's say I want this pose, I can just do this, and then this, or like this, or completely on the other side like this. Yeah, heads are weird because they go all the way, and that's funny. Okay, no more neck, but you see the kind of stuff that we're talking about. I already did all this, so I'm not gonna do that. I wanted just to show you that one. You have the hands. You can actually pull different type of hands. You don't see it because of the gun, but if I go here and just mix the hand here, you can see that I have a lot of different types of hands. I really wish we could actually play with the hands like this side, but we can't. So that's about it. If you want a second character, you can just add a second character to the scene here, and that's pretty much it. That character you can also decide that's from one side, I mirror it to the other side, and the hands, if you want them to be equal, you can just click here and they're gonna change hands. Here you have the size of the character, so usually it's normal, but here we want her to be smaller, so that's pretty much it. Now if you click on here, you can actually just erase everything. Can cancel the erase or just say yes and it just resets everything. Now if you want to save that character, you need to go back to the camera. If you go back to the camera, you see here there's a photograph. So you can just click, and once you click that, it will create thanks. Yeah, I tried that, did not work, but yeah. So I'm not really using weapons in this. Usually I draw them myself and everything. So if you click on the green one, it will just save the photograph. So this is what I use. I already did all this, so we're not gonna try and do this. Just this step took me about an hour and a half just to do everything, because first I click on the erase by mistake. I think it was a photograph. It was a mistake, so I had to redo it a second time. But the reality is, this is something because I want the pose, and the pose is something I really have problems with. So this is what I use. Now if we go back to Photoshop, once we have done all this, we can go back to Photoshop. And my Photoshop, usually what I do is I make a canvas that is basically the size of a real sheet. Like, here's a sheet of paper, and I use the actual sheet. So if I would draw something on here and then print it, it would take the whole picture. So yeah, that's, if you want to know, that's a width of 8.5. inches, which is 2550 by 3300. And that's in pixels. That's the size of an actual sheet of paper. Now, this is something I do, and I want to say that if you want to print something, your DPI should be 300. Usually they go with 92 or 72. I don't remember which one. Let's just take a look real fast. Yeah, that's usually a resolution of 70, which is every inches takes 70 pixels. But when it comes to printing something, what you want is an actual resolution of 300. So if you want to draw your stuff and you want it to fit on a single piece of paper, you need it to be 300 pixels per inch. Now, color wise, people would go with 16 bits. I go with 8. I just keep it at 8. You don't need more than that usually. The only times you will need more than that is if you want to be photorealistic, and this is not what I'm going for. So what I usually do, I choose the US paper size here, 8.5 by 11. Now if I want it in portrait mode, I would put my width to 11 and my height to 8.5. But here we want portrait. So I'll cancel because I already did all of this. Now you'll see that in my layers I have a group called Zekarath, which is the character, and everything of the character will go there. The first thing we need is to lock on the model. So we need the model. This is the model I decided to pick. And this is it. And I just put it in the way I want it to. And then I just go about 40% or 50, depends. As long as I can see stuff, 50 is a good way too. And then, important thing, lock the model, because you don't want to draw on the model. Every time you need to lock your stuff. If you don't want to make mistakes, lock your stuff. The second thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually creating a color palette, which I also lock. So I have numerous colors here. I have the color of the skin, because yes, I could click here and just go there but I prefer to have colors already done. So yeah, all I need to do is, if I want to change colors, let's say I'm going back to the actual sketch, which I'm gonna, okay, so let's say I want to draw on the sketch. I can just Alt, click, and choose my colors, as you can see. So yeah, that's my color palette. I need what I need, and that's black. That does color for the edges, the skin, the robe which I'll have, the gold for the rings on her here, and the 3 colors that I want for the varied colors. If I need more, I'll just create more. But for now, that's pretty much what I want. So I have my palette. For now, I don't need the palette, because right now we're going to start with a sketch, and this is where the real drawing starts. So we're going to go back to the sketch. And the first thing I did, as you can see here, I actually drew around the place. And what I usually do is I'm going for 2 pixels, because 1 pixel is not enough. People would prefer 1 pixels, but I prefer 2, because if I make a mistake, it's easier to correct. Now, so what we do is that we go here, we click here to reset, black and white, we need black. And we're going to do our sketch. The sketch itself needs to be in multiply. Why is that important? I'll show you right away why it's important to have it in multiply. Let's say I want to base color this thing. I put it under the sketch. In multiply, what this does is that white disappears. So white, the more white you go, the more transparent it will become, and everything that will show is only the blackness, the dark colors. So if I decide to just say color something under it, let's just say I'm going for this, and I decide to color stuff, as you can see, the sketch remains. The sketch remains under it. You can still see the character. And this way, that's what you want. That's why it's important for the sketch to be in multiply mode. So, let's go back to our sketch, because now this doesn't look like a tiefling. So what we need is to make it look like a tiefling. And now that I did if I remove the models, you can see that I already sketched the way it is, and this is the base. This does not have any clothing on, so we'll have to do that as well. We'll need to do a lot in the sketch. I'll start with the hand, and then with the head, because those are the things that will take me a lot of times. People wish something I really like about these methods is that you can actually do it the way you want, and you can actually have, and I really recommend that you do, is that you have more than one sketch. So right here we're gonna do the outline, and then we'll have another layer which will do the clothing. So this is what we'll start with. So let's go for the hand right here. That hand, this is the left hand because she's right-handed. So this is the hand that is normal. That's the hand that's normal. And this is the hand that's completely black, with that looks demonic, that looks devilish. So here what we have is that we have the thumb and we need the claws. So what I'm gonna do is go back to this line and just draw it. Sorry, my mouse has a problem. If you had a pad with a pencil and everything, you can do that. I usually would because I do have a pen and a tablet. So no, usually I would do this on a tablet. But my tablet is not a drawing tablet, and the pen I have is a bit large. So yeah, it works for sketches, but I don't like to do that with. I prefer mouse at this point. If you have an actual monitor that has touchscreen, that's better. I would just do it directly on my touchscreen. But here we go. So what we need is for her to have these nails, these claws. As you can see, I'm not going. Many people would go with a pen tool and just create their lines like this, and then like this, and just follow the character like that, and then end up with it flying like this and just do it. I don't like that. I'm not doing that because I prefer the pencil approach. Like it's less perfect. It looks like an actual drawing. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna finish this. You need to know that when it comes to claws, they have a point, and they go about this much into the character finger. So you need to go for about that shape. Here it's a bit much, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just do this and then that. Now it's important that you, for a later step, it's important that you don't leave any groove. Like right now, here, that's a problem. Right here, I have a problem because it's not entirely. These two pixels here and here are touching each other and they don't have any colors. So if I want to color draw these nails, it will go over, it will spill over. So it's important that they're not doing that. So what I'm gonna do is this. Alright, Now, many people will tell me that these doesn't really look like nails, but they are. I'm just doing this a bit. I'm just doing this the way I want to. No, I don't remember. This is why it's important that. Okay, so our hand is toward the inside, so I'm doing this wrong. Ah, that's the wrong. Actually, everything is wrong. And you'll understand why it takes me about 3 hours to make a sketch. Alright. So here, this one would be like this. I'm just gonna do this. One will be like this. This one a bit less, like this. This one would be even less, almost straight. This one would be straight. And this one would be actually curved out. Like this. Yeah, that's something that I would do. Yeah. Alright. So this one would be just like this. What I don't like is the actual size of it, the wideness. I don't like the wideness, so I'm gonna make them less wide, like this. Oh, now that's much better. That is much better. Alright, here it's difficult because usually they has a point. There are points, like the claws are curved. So here, let's just say we start here, go this way, and it would do that. Now here it would look like this. That's much better, but it is too small for the tomb. That's much better. Yeah, that would be better. That would be fine with me. I'm not gonna go all the way around. If I need to redo this later, I'll just do this later. But for now, that's gonna be it. Alright, so here, let's just say that we'll start here and do this. Now we do this and then do this. That may be a bit too small right now, so we're gonna redo that again. Just go a bit bigger like this. Now that's a much better. Here it's a bit more curved. That's way too high. I prefer to give it this rounded look later on, like this. You know, alright, like this. This one is way too big. So like this, and we're gonna start here and just do this. That's much better. Yeah, that would be better. We're not going to details. I mean, we're doing a sketch here, so Yeah, we're not going into much details. You'll see that I'm not doing either the details of the hand itself. Like, I'm not putting lines like these or that or whatever. I'm not going for that. That's something you should leave for your shadows. What we want is just the sketch, the outline. That's pretty much it. The rest is gonna be something else. Alright. So for the color, that's gonna be it for that hand. Now we need to go back here, and what we need right now is to create some kind of nails. So that's the nail that we'll have. Now the other fingers are all hidden, so we don't see them. They're all hidden. And the face, I'm not going to go for a lot. But there are things that I want to do right now for the head. And I know the ears are here. And I need to know where the hair will be versus where the horns will be. And right now the horns could be about here and about here. Yeah, the horns will go there. So yeah, alright. So the first thing we need to do is take the horns like this and just go toward the ear. Not sure I like that. I'll go a bit bigger here, like this instead. Yeah, that's gonna be better. Except I don't want it to be going there, so it's gonna be there, and then like this. And that one will be going back from here. So let's just say that it's about here where the horns start. We're gonna start from the inside instead. Let's just say the horns start here, goes all the way back like this. Let's just check. You can actually, if you want to, you could just do a temp sketch like this and just draw on that one. That way you can just test your stuff instead of doing what I do right now. Apply. I've gone too far. That was fine. Alright, so I'm just gonna create another layer sketch. Alright, so I want the horns to go this way and then do this. Yeah, same here. I want it to go this way and then do this. And then it's gonna do this. And it's gonna do this. Okay. So knowing that, we're gonna just erase what we did here. Now you'll understand why it takes me a long time to do stuff. This looks weird a bit. This looks weird, so yeah. I'm gonna do something else. This looks weird. At the top it's fine, this is about what I want. But here, this is not what I want. So here, the cross, go back here, go back here. Yeah, go for the other side like this instead. Yeah, that would be much better. So, yeah. It would go like this. Yeah, that would be better. And now that you have your basic idea of what you want, you can just go ahead. This is no need for, this is just a temp sketch. So what you could do is just go back here and then use those guides to go for it. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do this the right way. So here it's doing that and then changing side at the last minute like this. Now it does this point. That's a bit too... I'm screwing that one up. Go back to the sketch. That's wrong. That's a bit wrong for me. That's another thing. You need to stop being too asking of yourself. You need to be just doing your stuff, not the other way around. Alright, that's gonna be enough. I want to be able to draw and do everything I need, and it's been already an hour since we started, so yeah. So here it goes like this, and then like this, and it goes back here, and then there. Alright, we'll say that's enough. I'm not on the right one. Temp sketch, and we can erase those lines. Yeah, that's gonna be fine for me. I don't care if it's not exactly it. Now for the head. Now this means that here it's outside, so it needs to be outside. This is inside, it needs to be inside. Okay. Let's just say that I'm using these lines. This one is not okay. I'm not okay with it. It's too... I'm not okay with that line. It's not correct. Nah. It would need to have about the same. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, that's a much better one. So that's what we're gonna. This is what we're gonna take. So now we need this one, starting here. Let's say our horns are long, but they're not big. They're long but not big. So that's gonna be it. What we're gonna do is this. And actually, I'm gonna go this way and just literally complete that line. So let's say I remove that. I'm just going like this. And then like this. And that's pretty much it. That's gonna be what we have. Alright. Same here. I'm gonna go here. Just do like this. Here. Start curving. And that would be that. So now if I go back to the sketch, and then we can just erase that. We can just erase the temp sketch. Yeah, that's pretty much fine with me. The fact that we don't see them crossing behind is because we're not seeing behind our head, we're seeing it front. So yeah, that's gonna be that. Now I'm gonna go for the eyes. This is something I really am not good about. I really have a problem with the eyes. So I'm gonna go into the temp sketch for now. Again, just locking the other layer, so that's the only one I can do. And alright, so in the temp sketch, we know that our eyebrows are gonna be here. So our eyebrows are gonna be here. Tieflings don't have eyebrows like we do. They don't have patch of fur or whatever on their eyebrows. They're just big, bulky eyebrows. So yeah, that's gonna be quite easy to do. So what we can do is just add this. And then that. So yeah, that's gonna be a good eyebrow for them. Now my only problem is that I don't have quite an idea of what I want. I know how to do eyes, but it's really something hard for me to do. Alright, so let's get going. What are we gonna do? First of all, our eyes is gonna be about this much. That's gonna be about our eye, really. So since that's gonna be our eyes, I want the eyelids to be somewhere around this part. That's gonna be the eyelid. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna have her eyelid closed because I want her to be winking, like. So I'll have, and I want to show that she has makeup. So that's one way to do that. Alright. The eyes here is not right. Not for what I want. This is why I'm doing sketches and I'm not drawing onto my real sketch. I'm just doing a temporary sketch here because I want to know what I want first and foremost, and then be able to do stuff. So here we can have these lines to show that just to show that she has her eyes closed. And here it's gonna be something else. But before I'm going that, this is just for me, this is just to show myself about what it would look like. Yeah, that would be fine, and then you could go. That's way too big of an eye. And here she is closed down, so we don't need more than that. That's gonna be real weird, guys. That's gonna be real weird. Yeah, that's gonna be real weird. The eyes are gonna be really weird to do. Alright. We're gonna log the temp sketch. I'm fine with that. We've drawn something, and that's pretty much what I want from it. This is not as much as I'd like, but yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna down the sketch as well, so we know what we need to do. So 40% is gonna be fine. All right, and now we can just sketch our stuff. Like here, I'm gonna add a bit here, just this much. and then go for that. I don't know. Nah. I should leave it as it was already. Except that the point here is not really right for me. The point should be a bit lower. So yeah. That damn mouse. I want her to go down and she's not going down. Alright, that's gonna be it. And then here it's gonna be more like this. This has to be more rounded out because she has her eyes closed. She needs to be more rounded out. Alright, that's gonna be fine. Now I'm gonna go, before I create everything else, I'm just gonna go for the eyebrows already. And her eyebrows, I am gonna need something. So we're gonna go for tiefling and we're gonna check. Let's take the official race, see what we can glean here. Okay, their horns are going all the way in. That's the thing I don't really like. Their horns are going all the way in, and it's almost their horns that are using this, that are making these edges. This is something I'm not really liking. Some people have done it like they are normals, but horns are going further. Others are going like here. This is something more akin to what I like, but again, the horns are too big. I don't want her to have that big. You see, this is much better. This is much better to what I want. Alright, let's go for that. We'll go for that. This is much better than what I want. This is much better for what I want. This also is good for what I want. But I don't like the fact that they put actual things on it. Alright, go. So, since the horns here, we'll also close them. Like this. And here, what we're gonna do is start from the middle here and just do this. Alright, and this, and then this. Yeah, this doesn't look like much right now because we're just doing the thing, we're just doing the eyebrow. But the reality is, now if I just remove that, because that's not gonna be that, we can just go back here, put some over here like this, and that's gonna be it. So what we're gonna do, let's say remove that. What we're gonna do here is everything that's under will be in the shadows, and everything above will be more in the light. So what will happen is that we'll see more of it. We can add details, but this is something I prefer to add in the shadows. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Now I'm gonna do a little something. Still in the sketch. We're gonna go closer. Not enough for that, but closer. I'm gonna go down to 1 pixel. And I'm gonna do this. This is not much, but since her eyes is closed, this is gonna give us the ID that her eyes is closed. And I can still draw a lot of stuff in that. The other thing I don't like is that if her eyes is closed, then that means this line won't be really here. Alright. The shadows will tell us more about all of that eyes. This is the thing. Most people draw and wants every single details in their sketch. Sketches are not detailed. The highlights and shadows is what gives you your details. So everything you need is the things that you need to actually give something. Like the eye here, you won't see entirely. If I just remove the model, right now you can already see that she probably has her eyes closed, but you don't see the details of the eye, of the eyelid, because there is no shadows, there is no highlights, and that's pretty much that. I actually like what it gives me from right now. It's already a bit creepy, and that's what I was trying to go for. Now we're gonna clean up a bit that sketch by just removing the lines that we should not be seeing, like this one and this one. Alright, now we're gonna go back to the eye and just continue our work on the eye. But right here, the first thing we need to know is the eyelid, and we know that she has an eyelid that is a bit different. So normally this line should not be there because eyelid. Now, her eyelid, I forgot to go back to a size of 2. Her eyelid would be going over her eyes like this. That's way too far. That would be her eyelid. Now I just want to erase a bit of this because that's way too much. Alright, that would be her eyelid. But here's the thing. I like that she would have an eye that is just big and the other eye just closed like that. So, yeah. The one thing you could do is take your phone. If you want to know more about your own, you can just take your phone like this, go for a photograph. So let's say just take a photograph. I'll take a selfie of myself. So you look at the camera, which is over there. You just look at the camera here, and you're ready to take your picture. You just close your eyes, do the other, put yourself about the way she can or you want, and you just do that. And then if you look at your picture, which you'll see here, you have a good reference of what it would look like. And yeah, it's hard to have a big eye. It looks weird. In fact, let's say I want to be normal, just smiling. Trying to make my eyes bigger makes me less smiley. So yeah, no, it'd be like this. Alright, so that's one way. I used that kind of stuff before, and I've used my own portraits and the likes often. But yeah, that's something. Alright, so what we're gonna do for the eye though, we're gonna be reducing to 1 pixel, because the eye itself is much less detailed. It has a lot of details, but it is less broad strokes, if you know what I mean. Her eyes would go down this way, be touching the base here below, and then go back up here like this. That's way too much. Her eyes would be like this, and her pupils, that's the thing about it. What? Are we seeing my pupil that much? So let's say I look at you like this. Do you see? Is my pupil just in it or not? This is why taking real life models is one thing that I like. So let's just say that I am like this. I look there, take a picture. Alright, let's go see. Yeah, my pupil would be everything, would be seen entirely. So what we want is not, I would not be doing this, because she would be looking up, and I don't want that. She's looking down, because the portrait is a bit more down. She's looking at the camera. So I'm gonna go here and just do this. Yeah, that would be good. I think this is pretty much good. She's looking at us, doing her smile. Of course, just the eyes is hard to make a smile or just say something by just the eyes. You need the rest of the facial to go with it. Someone who just looks at the eyes would not be able to tell you what you look like. You need the actual smile, the face, everything. The eye itself is harder to do. So yeah, now we're gonna go into details of the eye, of the eyelid, like this. And we're gonna go from up, from a lot to a bit less as we go, like this. I'm not really the best for that. Eyes have been my biggest problem for a while. But yeah, that's gonna be what I want right now. Alright. Now I'm gonna go further, and we're gonna go for, in the sketch, we're gonna go for more of the eye. Now usually I would use shadows, and I would use highlights to actually make the details pop out. But right now it would be just better to do these lines with our stick. I'm gonna go with 1 pixel, and I'm gonna go for 25%. So that way we barely see, and the more black we want, the more we can go for it inside it. So what are we gonna do? So here the eyes has many things in it, like these lines, like this, and we're just gonna go straight like this and do them like that. And now we can go back again a second time, and you'll see that every time we're passing onto a line that's already there, it goes darker and darker. And this adds more details to the eye. Because the darker it will be, the less showing the color underneath will show. And this gives you much of your details of the eyes. We don't need more than that, maybe just a bit here again. And that's pretty much it. So what will happen is that when we put our colors in the eye, you'll see the eye pop out already, because it already has everything it needs to make the colors. So as I said, it's in multiply, so the more white you go, the less it will show. I can already show you right here. Let's say I go for white, and I want to draw white right now. Doesn't do a thing. It just, as you can see here in the sketch, it just makes them less. So, alright. So this is what multiply does. It removes the white and leaves only the black. And the darker the color, the more it will show. The more toward white, the less it will show. So what is done here in the eye is that we have gray. We have tints of gray. It goes from black to white, and everything in between will be showing, more or less. So I'll show you an example of that right now. But you'll see it with the colors, so we'll stop it there and go for the colors. That's pretty much what I want for the eyes. Now usually when it comes to the nose or the mouth, I would do things that I normally would not do. Let me show you an example. Alright. So I've reactivated the temporary sketch. We're gonna go into the temporary sketch. What I will usually do is make it 2 pixels or 1 pixel. In this case I'm going with 2 pixels. I don't really need more than 1, so I'm gonna go with 1. And usually what I would do is I would pick 100% still. I would pick one side and just do about what I need for the nose, like this. And then another here like this, here like that, and then this would be the other side. This would be like this, this would be like that, and then and here we go, you'd have a nose. But that's not how nose works. Nose are bumps and they're not outline. So again, what will make our nose pop and our mouths pop are not the black lines we're going to do. They are going to be shadows. So again, I cannot do this. So I'll just erase the nose I just did. Go back here. But the mouth is something else. I still need a guide to know about what it would like. Right now our character is not smiling. Our model is not smiling. I want her to be smiling. I want her to have a smirk. So I'm gonna go from this, do that, that, and that. And this is gonna be showing me something. Now what I want to know is about where our lips are and where the rest is. She is a bit, she doesn't have like me, she's not very fat, but she does have a bit, because when you smirk, the corner here just change. It's like, and you see that it just goes there, there's something that happens. So what we're gonna do here is just add that to show where our lips finishes, which is here, and our lips would be going that way. And this is just temporary sketch for myself. Same thing should be happening here, so like that, and our lips would be going that way. So right now the lips would be doing this, would be doing this, so go back down a bit like this, and then this, and the lips, the bottom lips would be like that. The upper lip would be going like that. But then again, I'm not really close to what I would do. The bottom lip usually is bigger than the upper lip. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna redo everything here. So we're gonna go like this. No, we're gonna go like this. This is way too big. Gonna go like this. Do that. Do that. And here would be our upper lip. The bottom lip, as you can see, can go all the way here. From our model, the lip is going way bigger. The bottom lip is way bigger. So what we're gonna do here is just go like this. And just go like this. This is enough for me. I mean, it's not the biggest thing, but it's better. And if we take out the model, we can already see something. But that's not really what it should be looking like. Really, eyes, mouths is what I have a problem with. Hands is a bit less of a problem than I thought it was. It's hard to do, but it's a bit less of a problem. Eyes and mouth is what I have a problem with. So we're gonna go back here, and we're gonna take that down, and we're gonna go back again. I'll take myself. I'll take myself to know what my mouth would be looking like doing a smile. So I'm gonna take this, turn around my head a bit, and just do the smirk. Okay, that's not what I was expecting, and this is important. This is why you should be doing this, because this is not what I was expecting. In this case, I would need to modify it and just inverse it, because I'm not doing the right thing right now. No. Je me demande si... I wonder, can I... No, I don't think I can. Not on that phone. Alright. I'm still gonna use the picture that I just took, and still use it. But right now it's not in the right format. It would need to be inversed, and I don't even know if that is possible. I don't even know if that is possible. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take my other application and see if we can do something along with it. I don't think we can. Alright, I'm not gonna lose time on that one. I saw what I wanted to see, and it is that our mouth is not correct. It would, because it is normal, but if it would start lower. So we're gonna start lower like this, and it's really just a straight line almost in the way I made it. Like this. This would be much better. And now the mouth, I'm gonna start it here, and the bottom lip would be like this. The upper lip would be more like this. And that's a bit more of it. And then there would be this and that. But yeah, no, just one side would be enough. This is what I hate. I think I'll have her mouth open so we can actually see some teeth. So yeah. So like this, like that, and just like this. And here would be, we would have our teeth. So yeah, like this, we would have our teeth. Pretty much just the ones at the top. I don't really want more than that. Just showing the one at the top. Maybe have some bottom ones here. But the goal is that we want to know that she has her mouth open and everything. So yeah, it would be like this. And here we could start here and have her lips like this. The same here. We'd have her lips like this. I'm not too sure that's great. I really have a problem with mouths. But I'm not gonna lose every time like this. I mean, it's already been an hour and 35 minutes and we're still in the sketch. When it comes to coloring, it's gonna be easier. The sketch is what is harder. Coloring is easier. And then we get into shadows and highlights, which is entirely something else. Usually it takes me about 4 hours, about 3 to 4 hours to draw something that is good, but is not the best. And it takes me about an entire day just making it all good. I'm not really liking that. So what I'm gonna do is go here and I'm gonna make, say, smiling woman. Those are some scary shit, smiling woman. Alright, and what we can do is just look at what we want like this. Just look at it and take something that's might be about what we want. You know what? Usually I would not go for that, but I'm gonna say yeah. We're gonna try that one. So she has a really big smile here. So that's what we're gonna try and do. We're erasing that. We're gonna try to do that. So yeah. Usually what I would do, it would be that I would need to take the image and just put it on, and that would be it. Let's say we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that. I usually would do this and then save that. Say on my desktop because I don't care. This is not something that will stick anyway. And then we're gonna take that picture and bring it into our stuff. Now this is way too big. So we're gonna do this and this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna accept that. And what we're gonna do is just like the rest, we're gonna do that. And what we're gonna do is just try to say put it like this. We can also make it much better like this. And that's pretty much it. We could even try to just set it with, because it is exactly fine. Yeah, it is exactly fine like that. So what we could do is use this model to actually do what we want. So here we go. Now we have an actual, it fits, it works. Now this is about what I'd like. It fits with the eyes, it fits with everything, so yeah. So what I'm gonna do is that, do this. I'm gonna just paint. I'm gonna just paint it like this. Now I'm just going about the broad strokes here, and what we see is that our lips are quite big. This would be it. Of course, we can also go for the tooth and everything, and just do it like this. Boom. Just add more like this. Again, the tooths are easier to do. Right there is just a sketch. The tooths are easier to do with lighting and the likes. So if we remove that and then remove our model, this is much closer to what I would like of the character to be able to do. This is much closer to what I would do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, still in the temp sketch, you could also take that to just tell yourself, like the nose would be here, the rest of the nose would be here, that, here you have. You can do that. You can tell yourself that here is the lines that you need. But this is just sketching to help you guide yourself. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take that sketch. We can now delete that. We can take that sketch and we know what it looks like in our face. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go back to our sketch, and not the temp sketch, but go back to our real sketch, and we're ready to go for sketch. So yeah, here what I did not like is that they're all together like this. I don't like that. So we're gonna do that, do this, and we're gonna follow a bit of our line. That's gonna be our lips. The one thing I hate the most though is that we don't want our lip. In fact, we do not want our lips to be something. We want just the basics. So right here, right now, we're needing this and this. Now we're needing this. Alright. Teeth needs to be done as well, so we're gonna do that. But need to remember that teeth are, there's gum line, which is above, which is what most of what we were seeing in the picture. Like if we go back to that picture, it's more likely the gum line that we were seeing instead of the lips, but we were still seeing the lips, a good part of the lips. So yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. The gum line and everything is gonna be done. Everything else. So what we're gonna do here is just do that. Teeth are not right. We're just gonna do that, and then do a bit of that, so we can know about where the teeth are. Though we can already see them just by the way things are done. But yeah, that's gonna be that. Now, she does not have all of these. This is maybe a bit too big. And honestly, shadows are gonna be doing that. So we're gonna keep the temp sketch. And that's gonna be like that. And that's gonna be for our reference. Now what's next? The rest is something else. I want to do the hair. Yeah, I want to do the hair because she has a bunch of it. So we're gonna go back to the temp sketch and we're gonna do the hair. Now, what I want is that they are braided, but at the bottom. They're not braided from the get-go. There are braids from the get-go, but they're not all braided from the get-go. So, what we need right now is to determine about where the hair would be. Her hair would be like this. Like her hair would go behind the actual horns, so it'd be like this. And here, the front, from the horns, she would have none up front, or maybe she could have one patch of hair up front, like this, just patch of hair up front like this, but not that kind, just like it goes like this, and then what we would see would be her hair going this way like that, and she would have a patch of it here disappearing around the horn. And then the rest of the hair here would go down here. Now at the top, the problem I have with this line is that it covers the hair, and I don't want to cover the hair, so that line must disappear. So I'll need to go back to the sketch later and remove it. But for now, the same for the actual lines here, because they are hair. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go from there. We can just create some lines like this. Of course, the hair here needs to be connected. And this would be that, this would be that, this would be that. Again, that, that, and that. So that would be that. And now, if we decide to go now from that point, what we need would be to actually make the braid. Now, braiding is a bit harder, so what you could do is you need to do like this, and then that, and then that, and then that, but it needs to be quite equal. Right now they're too big, so it would be like this. Yeah. Braids are hard to do, so I'm really making it hard for myself. Braids are harder to do. So we'll start small. I like the idea of the braid starting, from their back here, but at the same time, no. So what I would do is, yeah, her hair all braided. There's two braids, so there's gonna be one here, and what we're gonna do is that the braid will start about here, and since she's on the side, the braid will just go here like this. And that's the problem, because right now you need to know where all the way up to where does it go. And I was thinking about this much, like it ends here. So this braid we're not gonna see, almost none. We might see it here around the fingers, but that's pretty much it. The other one starts from the bottom here though, and the other one would be like this, and that one we're gonna see a lot, and it's gonna be ending here. Now you need to know that since they're not at the same point, one starts below here and the other starts a bit higher. Because of that, we need to actually make a difference. So one will end up here and the other will end up there. Yeah. So how do we go about that? It's gonna be simpler than we think. So what we're gonna do here is just do the pattern I told you to do, like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. The only important that you have is that you need to actually be straight about it, as in, that's not how I wanted it to be. Like, you need to be consistent, because the size of your lines will determine the wide of your braid. So you need to be different. So the one thing I would do usually would be to make myself, now I have the directing line. I have a directing line here. So what I could do is just draw another line, like here. Draw another line. Keep it, it's not straight, but doesn't matter because we don't want really it to be straight. And just go from that, from there, and then this. Now what we do is that we can do another one that could go like this, this, and just keep it about the same size. Keep it the size we want it to be, which would be about this large. So we want it to be this large here. From this point, this large. And we just go for that. We just do our line. So yeah, this is the size we want. Now we can do the same thing here. Can go from here, do this. Does not matter if at some point it's a bit bigger and other it's not. Doesn't matter. What we want is just to have a size category for our braid. But here's the thing, I am not entirely happy about the fact that she doesn't have other hair behind. So yeah, the two braids are great, but I think we're gonna add more hair to that, like just a bit here. That goes about that. So this way we know that she has more hair that going in. You'll see that I have a specific brush for hair, and it works quite great if you want to do realistic hair. The squiggly lines, like what I did here, the squiggly lines and everything are perfect for people doing anime style, but I'm not doing really anime style, though it does look like that. So yeah, let's see what does this gives us. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of the hair going this way. I think it would go like this, more like this, because she is down like that. That's better. That's a bit better. Of course, there's one braid we won't be seeing, so yeah. Alright, now that we know this, we can go back to the sketch and just finish up what we need. I'll start by the hair here down. Yeah, I'll start by the hair here, and I'm going back to the 2. And what we're gonna do is just do this. Doesn't matter if we're not equal. Doesn't matter. All we need is that. And that's for the hair. That is there. Here we still need to do something about this, because the hair would be going this way. Like this. Here the hair would be going this way, then that way, then just this. Here the hair would be like this, and here it would go like this. Yeah, so we have our hair going on right now. So if I remove my temp sketch and I remove the everything else, we end up with this, which is not all that great for now, but still something. And we need the braids, so we're gonna add the braids. Now the braids, I will not start them here, they will be going down below. So say the braids are gonna start here. So say it's like this. Like this, then it was like this, okay. Oh, it goes like this in the middle, and then it goes like this all the way down. Then it goes like this, up to the middle again, like this, like this. The thing is, it's supposed to be in the middle, and we're not in the middle. So like this, like this, like this, and then now I have a problem with that right now. I have forgotten how to do that. Give me a sec. It was like this, okay, and this point is supposed to be in the middle of the others. But now we need to do that all the time, from one way to the other. It will be like this and this, like this and this. No, that's not how it's supposed to work. I know that you can just start it like that, and this is the way you do it. But I don't know, I don't remember. Okay, I will need to go back to learning to braids. And drawing braids. Sorry about this. I'm a bit confused. I need something. Just open it like this. Alright. Okay, that's what I thought. I knew the line was gonna be in the middle. Okay, so they're doing the squiggly line, and then they're upgrading every bit of the line. Okay, I'm not doing braids too often, but in fantasy, braids are the thing. It's like, braids are awesome. They're intricate, they're nice to see. So this is something in fantasy that appears a lot. Okay, and once that was done, they're just going from one to the other. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so we're gonna go for this, usually would go there, this, just a second. I think what I'll do, I think I'll just draw it on the side here and then just copy paste it. That's gonna be better. So yeah, so it's that, and again that. Bring a bit more, and then that, and that. Right. Now, what they wanted us to do was do this, and again this. My braids are way too big. But still, they're pretty good right now. Right. So now, what they were doing was doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this. And always starting from the middle of the other one. Doing this. Doing this. Doing whatever that is. And this. Alright. That here. And this is my biggest problem. I'm really not capable of doing the same things. So there are braids that will look like they're bigger than everything else. Now, from what we were seeing, what we need is to actually do something about the rest. But we don't need to do the top. And we do not definitely need to do the bottom. Which would look like... Okay, they are going to the same things. Okay. So, here we can do this. And here this goes like this. And now here... Say it's the two golden rings that we'll be doing, and the rest is just us doing a bunch of hair like this. Alright, this is way too big for me. Right now this is way too big for what we wanted. So the one thing we'll do right here, we're still gonna take that like this. And it's fine because it's just dark stuff. And we're gonna make it smaller. Like, say we put it there. I'm gonna see something first, so we can do that. And then just going to see what it would look like. Okay. Because I liked it to be crisp, we cannot do that, so we're gonna do... I'm gonna use that as a sketch to do the next, to do the real one. And the bottom here is not enough. I should be going further like this. Now this would be much more because it's the remnant of the thing. But we could also just do this. And that. To show that the hair is kind of 2. Well, even though it's supposed to be 3. But yeah, now we know what we need, so we're gonna go back to the sketch itself and we're gonna go for it. We're gonna try it. Now I don't like the fact that it started all the way here, so we're gonna start here in the middle. But for that we're gonna start at the bottom this time. So yeah, so we're gonna do the ring. The 2 rings. We can say there are 2 golden rings, which we'll do later on. But we can say they are 2 golden rings that are just installed there with the hair in it. And now we need to go from this point, do this, and just do this. I don't really like doing that. I have my own way of doing things for hair, and you'll see it later on. But for this part, I'll redo later. For now, this is what we want, and this is it. So here, we're gonna go for that, and then here in the center, we're gonna go for that. Go all the way in, and that's pretty much it. That's why it's important to know where your stuff is going to be. Imagine the large thing you want, and we're just gonna go from there. This is what I usually do. I don't do the squiggly line like they did and just add stuff. I know the line ends up in the middle, so yeah. So it's like this. This is why I wanted to do the size, to make sure my stuff would be about the right size for things. Wait, it was that, and then here, so it means this, here, and then here, and then here. Alright, that's pretty much that. That's good. Alright, so we're going from there, we're doing that, doing that, doing that, jumping there, jumping here, jumping here. There we go. Jumping here, jumping here, jumping here, jumping here, jumping here, going here, jumping here, jumping here, jumping here, jumping here. Look, I made a small mistake that we'll try to correct right here, right now. And it is this point. It was supposed to be a jump, and it did not jump at all. Now that's better. Alright. Jumping here, jumping here, jumping there. Jumping there, jumping there. You probably wonder why I'll say jump. Why I say that it is jumping. But here's the thing. For me, this is a straight line. For me, this is jumping because it has an arc. So when I say jumping here, that means doing an arc. That's what it means for me. Alright. Oh, those are good braids. Now those are good braids. Let's see it from below. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's some good braids right there. It just proves that she has a hell of a lot of hair. And it must take her a lot of time to do stuff. Alright. So what some people would do would be, instead of having one sketch like I do, they would create layer for hair, for eyes, for everything. This is one way to do it. This is one way to do it. Have a layer for everything you draw. And it works, as long as you all put them in multiply mode. Because when it comes to coloring, it's gonna be a hell later on if you don't. Alright, now that we know we don't need more, we don't need this one anymore. So we're just gonna erase that. And now we can do the other one, which is pretty much easy to do because it's almost always hidden. So, yeah. Here we're gonna do the rings. Like this. Here's the rings. Now we're gonna do this like this. There you go. Now we're gonna start from here, go there, in the middle, go there. That's pretty much it. We don't really need more than that. It's already done. Everything else is just hidden in the middle of it. So if we go back, we know that she has 2 braids. We need that she has 2 braids. She has hairs still coming back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This hand looks really weird compared to the rest, but it's because it's closer to the screen. The way the camera in 3D did, the hand is like this. So here's what we call perception. Both my hands look the same size. My head looks weird because it's weaker. It's it's smaller. So my head looks weird. If I put my hands back to my head, you see that my head seems to have grown and the hands seems to have got smaller. That's because it's called perception. Everything that's closer will look bigger, and everything that's further, like if I go beyond my head like this, the hand seems to have gone much smaller. The reality of that is that our eyes perceive depth, have perception of depth. Images like we do here, or the camera, even the camera, does not have depth. So the only way to do depth is to have perception. Like everything in front is small, is bigger, like this, and everything in the back is smaller. So here, right now, her hand in the 3D program, her hand that is like this, almost saying hi, is bigger because it's closer. She's like this. You don't really see it. You think she's like this, but in reality she's like this. She's up forward. She's forward like that. Like this. And she's like, so this hand looks much bigger, almost bigger as her head, and that's why. Alright, now we'll go on to the clothing. We'll go into the clothing, and the first thing we'll do is lock our sketch. Lock everything. Now we're gonna go into add a new layer, and we're gonna call it clothing. And this one will go under the sketch. From this point on, everything you add will go below the sketch. Now, you'll see a problem that will be getting in, and that's something you'll have to correct later on. But everything goes below the sketch. Or you could just go sketch your own clothing. What I do usually is that clothing, I do them separately. Now we're gonna go for the robe right now. Starting from the top. We're gonna go into the temp sketch just to make sure we're fine with what we are doing for the robe. So what we're doing for the robe is that she has this little thing here that goes like this. We might need to reactivate that because I need to know where things are going. And the robe is going like this. And then it's going back up like this. So here's what it would look like. So the hands and everything are normal. Now the robe here would be going like this, and then going here like that. Alright, so the robe would be going this way. Okay, now the one thing I like is to actually do the robe like this. It's cool to have the body, but I prefer to have the robe follow the curve. it looks better this way after that. And here the robe is normal. Robes, if you want to do robes, you need to stop at some point and not go like this. This is weird. What you want to do is this, and then go a bit back up. This gives the impression that the robe is doing one thing, while the rest is doing something else. Alright, I'll just resume that because the bottom is not right. Right now the robe is fine like this, just needs to go like this, and then just go like this. Just follow this like that. No, I don't like what this is going like this and then like that, but it goes beyond that. You see, I had an idea of what I wanted, but now that I'm trying to put it on the character, I don't like the idea. For my part, it was a simple robe, a simple red robe. But now I'm thinking a simple red robe will not do the character justice. So, what are we gonna do about that? The robe should be showing a few things. It should be showing a bit of stuff. She likes to show herself. So what I'd like would be for the robe to have a hole here for a belly. So the robe could go like this. But then again, she's a bit on the other side, so the robe would be like this. And it would go, so it would be like this. And our belly button would be here in the middle. So we could be showing our belly button or whatever. But now, this does not tell me what I want to do with the bottom part. I like that she have a robe. The robe could be open. I prefer robes that are open than those that are closed. And the robe itself could be, and she could have, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. She'll have socks, high long socks, you know, nylon socks that women used to wear or things like that. She'll have long socks that goes all the way up, and then she'll have a robe that is open. So basically she'll be not nude, but she'll almost be nude under the robe. But not nude, just we can put certain things, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So here for the socks, we're just gonna do this, that, follow up here like this, all the way here. Here we follow again like this, follow everything, and then there you go. Here I'm going broad strokes here. I know that's not what I'm gonna go for when we're done doing stuff, but right now this is what we have. So yeah, like this. Here it follows in like this, goes up, and I'm not wanting them to go all the way up, so they're gonna go like here. And the way we're doing that is like following the line here like this, and just going back on the other side like that. Now here we can do just a part like this to show that it is like that. Here it goes down. Okay, so that's it for that. Here we follow again. We do this, and it goes quite high, so it goes like this, and then goes like this, and that's about that. Yeah, that's about that. So yeah, okay, right. So if the robe is not doing, and it's not doing everything, so the robe here, wait, the robe here goes all the way there, it descends and just stops here at the bottom. I don't like that. We're gonna erase the bottom robe. Just erase this line, making sure not to erase our other ones. Alright. So I don't like that. I like the bottom. So what are we gonna do here? What we're gonna do is the robe itself should part from this point on, like, yeah, like here it just parts like that, and it goes here. Well, not like that, but it just parts here like this, goes like that, and then goes like this, and it should be parting like this. Now it just goes like this, and it comes back to here, and here is doing like this, and the robe is pretty much that. Oh, now I really like what we just did right there. The robe that just long on one side and on the other side just pulls the body. Now that's better. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna erase that, and what we're gonna do is go back here and just do that, like this, and then there you go. On the legs, here we go. And even there, I don't really like the idea here of the small post like that. The goal is that it goes like this. Alright, so it's like this. It follows the legs, come here, and then goes back up. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be better, I think. The one thing I hate this much, so we're gonna change that here like this. It goes like this and then disappear under. While we're at this point, we might also just do this and then just do this. Yeah, that would be great. That is something. I'm not really liking everything of it, but I'm not liking everything of it, but it's something, and it is something better than nothing. Still do not really like that. I think this part is not at the right place. It should go up like this. And then go up like this. Yeah, this is much better. Yeah, this way she has her butt covered, she has the middle covered, she probably has something below to hide the rest, but that's pretty much that. Yeah, I kind of like that design. Alright. Now, this was just the temporary sketch. Now it's time to just add that, so we're gonna add that to the main project. So, yeah. Alright, go back here. Alright, let's start from the top. Here. We did a bit much here, but that's still what we want. So, clothings. So we want to do this. Follow a bit of the line of the ridge. And then do this. Now, this. We'll do that. And then that. I know I'm not following the lines directly, but it does not matter. The goal is that we want to actually end up at the right place, and that's the thing I'm not good at. So yeah, so we follow that, we go back in here, we do this, we do that. I want it to suddenly change to it for it to be equal. Alright, now same thing here, follow directly for the front of it, and then curve out to try and get back to our place here, and then we go back up like this. Alright, I know I'm not following the lines that I had, but it does not matter to me because I just want it to look like a real drawing, and I'm happy to just say that my lines are not perfect. Alright, so next part. Okay. We're gonna do this part. So now the robe starts back here, and we follow. Now the thing is, we need to follow the body lines closest we can. We don't want it to be too large, too long, etc. It's just not the way it should be. One thing that I told you before is that the clothing should be below the sketch, and that's false. What you want is that everything that's underneath the clothing should be below the sketch, and everything that's above, like the clothing, should be above. So this way, when we color everything, the clothing will not be affected. The body will not be affected by the rest. Alright, so I'm doing that. I'm gonna go back down like this. Okay. Here is where I really don't like our design. This is the point where I don't like our design, but that's pretty much what it should be still. This one should be going down, but at this point it does not follow the body. So this one is like this, because it does not follow the body at this point. So here we go, and then here we're gonna go back up like this, and we're gonna stop here for now because we have to draw the socks as well, and the socks needs to be drawn before we can go further. Now we go back here, and here we go. We're going down here. It follows the leg, going back up again a bit, and then going below. Nope. It needs to go back up again because of the second leg. And then it goes back down here. All right. All right, so now we can go back from here, just do that. Oh, no, I should not be going here, below that. This is the socks. We need to stop at the socks, because we need to know the socks first to go under that. Alright, now we can follow it up here with this again. Doesn't matter again if we're not equal to our sketch lines. We just want it to be. We just wanted to know about what it would look like. Now here we need to go back to near the body. Because clothes are near our body, they're not thousands of miles away from our body. And that's pretty much it. So that's for the robe. The other part we do not see because it's under the arm. Alright, now here, usually this part this part would be something like this. So yeah, okay. That's what we were doing. Alright, we were fine here. The only exception I'll do here is that we'll stop like this and then go like this, which is much better than what we have now. And then we end up here. This will look like much better than what we have now, so yeah, that's much better. Now, for now, this is what we have, and if we remove the temp sketch, leave only the clothing and everything else that we have right now, and we remove the models as well, yeah, this is looking like something. For now, this is looking like something. But here's the point. This line should be going all the way here at the bottom. Alright, so let's go. We're gonna go all the way to the bottom. That's what I thought. I was like, that's below, but that's up. This line should be going. This is declothing still. This is the thing. So it should be going this way, like this, and then disappearing like this. Now sometimes you'll get little problems like here, problems that can easily be solved by just removing one pixel, because if I was not removing that pixel, when I would draw everything, those 4 pixels that were here would not be filled, and this is something you don't want to happen. Alright, so this is it. Now we know the clothing is above the sketch, so there's a few lines that will disappear, like this line here, which is the body, will disappear. This line here, the body part, will disappear under everything else. Now we need to do the we need to go back. We'll reactivate that. No, we'll reactivate the sketch, and we need to do the socks. So here we go, and we need to do the socks. So the socks are like this, just a bit of a round curve. Follow the curve of the leg, and then end up here. Here, same thing. We're doing that. Follow the leg, the curve of the leg, and then just do the same. Do that. Now here we're following our body closely. Sometimes we go on it, doesn't matter. The important part is that you follow the body closely. That's still the legs. So we're going like this, this, and that. Alright, we're gonna do the other side as well. I'm going too far at certain points. Doesn't matter. Doesn't need to have perfect line. Perfect lines are weird. They're good for the way you want to work with it, but they're not all that great. Alright. So this is what we're doing. We're doing socks, very long socks. I'm going way too far from the skin, so I'm gonna dial in back a bit. Now I don't like to work for hours on end on a project, even though I know that I am like that. So usually what I do is that I try to finish the sketch, and then I would go for the coloring, and I would end up having a basic version of the coloring. So if I have that basic version of the coloring, I'll be fine. That's where we'll end up. If I have more time after that, we'll do more time. But for now, let's just concentrate on what we have now. And that's doing the basic socks. The sketch. We're almost finished. Once we have finished that, we can start coloring. Alright, this is under the rest. So like this. Now we can finish this line because we're on it. And then this goes here. Under the other. Alright. I don't need to do the small thing here because it's already under the other thing. But here we go. This is what we have. Yeah. This is pretty much what we have for clothing and sketch. Now if we remove the sketch line right here, where we can see that we already have a lot done. If we remove the sketch itself, we have the coloring here for everything. Yeah, we could go. Yeah, we could go color that. So we can start coloring that. So I'll just activate the palette here. Alright. What I like to do is create a new layer that we'll call color base. Because we just do the color base. And the color base is split into the character itself and the clothing of the character. Now, we haven't done either. There's something else we still need to do. Sorry. In the clothing, there's still something else we need to do. She has, it was on her right or left ear. Ça c'est les mains. Okay, right ear. Right here, so that would be, it would be this ear. Yeah. We're gonna create something else. We're gonna create a layer called earrings. Yeah, and clothing is over, that's done. Earring. Now, what we want to do is, we're still at 2, okay, perfect. There's one here. So there's one here. There would be one here. There would be one here. And there would be one here. And then another one here. Alright, these would be the rings she has on her ear. On her ears. But at the same time, it would be great if they were bigger. So we'll do them bigger. So she has one here. She would have one here. Another one here. And then going, she would be having one here. And then she would be having one here. This would be the 5 earrings that she has. It was 5, right? So, okay. 5 golden ring. Alright, she has 5 golden rings. Alright, go. That's what she would have. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is that to have color base, we're I'll just delete what I did. I did a layer called color base, but that's not what we're gonna do right now. So the first thing we're gonna do is start with the earring that we just did. We're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna duplicate that layer, and that's gonna be color. That's our color base. In this case, I can already do that. All right. So what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna do something like we're gonna do coloring, and thanks to our palette, it's gonna be easier to do because palette. So here like that, we're gonna color that, and it's going to be golden. So let's go golden. Go back in, and what we're gonna do is just draw. Now you have to remember that your earring should be above and it should be multiplied. Now the earring itself is not multiplied because you don't want things to show. The clothing here, which is sketching as well, will be again multiplied. But the earring is not, because we want to color things. Alright. Now what we want is select the paint bucket, and we're gonna select contiguous. Tolerance of 100%. So that means that it will just stop as soon as there is another color, it stops. So like if we do that, it will color everything except what we want. So if I color directly here, make sure you're in your base. I'm fine with that. Make sure you're in your base. You just color that, color that, color that, that, and that's it. Now we're gonna do the same for the clothing. So duplicate layer, clothing, color base, and we put it below the actual clothing because we want the black lines to continue to show. We're gonna remove that. The color base here is done. We're gonna remove that. Make sure it's normal. You want the clothing to be multiplied like this, but you want the color base to be normal. So now we're gonna color the clothings. We need red. So we need red. Wow, that's not at all working because here we got a groove. Because we got a groove, it doesn't work. So let me remove that. All right. So one way to solve this little problem is to just color it manually right there. We're gonna add back the sketch, and what we're gonna do is just do this. Just color it manually. Alright, now that this is done, if we do that, oh, it's not over, there's still a part here. There you go. So if I remove the sketch, you see that we have flushed the groove. Now that the groove is flushed, what we can do, we haven't done the socks on the here. Give me a second. We need to finish the socks here. We did not finish them. That's why this is important. You just do everything and then you go back. Alright. Just going to finish the socks here. If we want it to be something that looks good, we need to do that. Alright, we also need to flush this out. Alright. Boom. That's done. Now that's correct. Now we have the clothing we desire. Now here we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take that and just, oh, there's another hole somewhere. Or it is this 0. No, we got a hole somewhere. We got another hole somewhere. We need to find the hole and plug it. This is correct. Oh, no, sorry, my fault. I'm stupid. My fault, I'm stupid. We're in the wrong place. We wanted to be in color base. Alright, so we do that. So here we go, our robe. The color base of our robe is done. Now we also need to color the rest of the base here. But somehow it doesn't work. Why? Because it is not correct. We'll resume. We're gonna clone that back because I did a mistake. That's the problem. If you do a mistake, you have to sometimes clone it back. That's why multiple layers are necessary. If you make a mistake, it's much less of a hassle to change. Color base is quite easy to do, so we're just gonna do that here. Make it normal. Alright. Now we're in red. Alright. This does not work. Why? Why is the problem? Why isn't it working? That works. That works. That works. Why isn't that working? The middle here should not be giving us problem. Something is off. Again. There's no hole there. There's no hole there. Ah! Right there. Alright. My damn mouse gives me problems. Alright. So yeah, now we can do that. Alright. So we're gonna take the red robe. Do this. Nope, not that. That we need to stop here at the top. Nope. We're gonna go back to our sketch. So what we want is color base. What we want is just to follow this much, close this line. We don't have to color the whole thing. This is fun. This is why computer graphics are just better, because when it's time to coloring, it's just easier to do stuff. Alright. As you can see in our sketch, there is still a problem. But yeah, doesn't matter. Won't show at the end when we're done. Alright. If we remove the sketch, our lines are aligned. Alright, so we can do this, and here we go. Now we have our robe. Yeah. Now there's a part here where the legs show up, and we'll need to recolor that. No problem, those are details we can just color back later on For now, this is just I just want the thing to be something. Now we'll do something for the clothing. We'll actually clone, because the socks are gonna be semi-transparent, and this needs to be something else. So socks are gonna be on their own. So here's the socks, and they're gonna be on their own. They're above the clothing, so yeah. Well, I'll keep them in multiply right now, but the reality is that I need them. I need another color base for the socks. So color base of the socks. It goes below the socks. Put it in normal, but their opacity is going to be 70. So what does that mean is that they won't appear entirely black, because I'm gonna use them as black. So here we go. Now they look gray. It is black. The proof is if I go back to 100%, they are black. But why do they appear black? It is quite simple. It is because 30% of the other color on the below will show up. And that's where we're going right now. And you'll see what I mean. Now, I'll put some details in the socks, but that might not be today because it's already 10. It's been about 3 hours that we do that. I just want to color base the character, has the basic, and we'll do shadows and highlights later on. So what we're gonna do, the coloring here is that. Now we're ready to go for the sketch here. We're ready to go for a sketch. Duplicate that. And we're gonna call it color base, or skin color base, or skin color base, or whatever. It's just character color base. Why not? Character color base. And the same thing happens. We're gonna put it below the sketch. We're gonna do it normal. And now the sketch can actually be removed because it's not gonna be needed later on. Alright, so right now what we have is the sketch, and what we want is to take this pinkish color, reddish pink color, and what we want to do is go into color base, and here we go. We're gonna color base our character, what is actually shown of the character, and you'll see that the socks here right now have started to change color because we see them, we see their socks, we see them. But here's the thing, normally these legs should show as well, and this is something that's wrong. Because I put the coloring here. It's my fault. I put the coloring at the wrong place. I should not have done that. I should have blocked the line here, and I did not do that. So my coloring of the clothing is wrong. I'll redo that one later. Now the color base, if we go, we know exactly, if we just select, we know what the color base is, and it is all that. Now this is the color base. We need more than just doing that. We need the hair, we need everything else. So let's go do the hair. So our hair are supposed to be black, same for the fingertip, the finger here. Now you'll see me do something later on that I'll show you later, right now, but this is something you must take into account. this. Alright. So now, the thing is, our arm is supposed to be black. Now, how do we do that? Well, simple. We control click our base. Everything we want to just select from what we just do that. So we just control click the color base, select the pen tool with the color we want, in this case black, and we just go for it. You can just go for it like this. But I'm not going all that way. It doesn't go below their arm. I'm gonna do something like here, like this. And what I'm gonna do is create some random pattern at the base, like this. I could also create some you see these small artifacts where our arm will not be black. Like these. And afterward we can just right click it like this. And this is it. And this is it. Now, still in the color base, we know as well that our nails are actually have makeup on the nails. So yeah, point red. Now, what people should know is that our eyes are not black either, they're red. But I don't want to be red, so we're just gonna go like this. Now, since this is the color base, we can do this. But here's what we'll do. We're gonna choose that and just do it manually. And now you'll see that the eyes will pop up just the same way that I told you they would. See that eyes? Yeah, that's something. Now we need some black as well, because we need the iris to be entirely black. Now, we can do something already. Because the eye is almost finished, we can finish it right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put eye glare, and that's gonna be on top of everything. That's gonna be on top of everything. This is something quite easy to do. This is the glare, this is the reflective material of the eye. So what we're gonna do is take white, and people would just create a dot, but that's not really great. So what we're gonna do is gonna go with 1. And we're going to create something that's much more akin to what we should be seeing. And we don't want it to be just in the black zone. We want it to be in the eye to show that the eye itself has it. So what we're going to do is create this small white zone. Like this. And I want it to be... I like it when it's big, and I'll show you why. Now, this is it. Now, you could as well just do it in the other way around and have another one, smaller one, right here. But the thing is that the eye should be reflecting what it sees. And what it sees is not two doors like this, unless you have two doors that actually does the thing. So that's why most people do the dot thing, and that's pretty much it. It's it's a small detail that pretty much nobody will recognize. So for my part, I'll just do that. And what we're gonna do now with the eye glaze is filter, blur, Gaussian blur. 5 pixels is way too much. 2.2 is fine. If you put it to 0.1, it means nothing. 0.5 is already something, but I'd say 1 should be enough for us right now. Alright. If we see it from further away, you can already see that something is off. It seems like our eye is... it doesn't work the way it's supposed to be right now. So what we're gonna do is just go back and we're gonna redo it. This is why most people just do the dot, because it feels better with just a dot, but I don't like just a dot, so yeah. That's too big again. We're gonna try with just a dot. The goal is that the dot should be... the reflective surface is not from the pupil, not from the iris, it's from the eyeball itself. So yeah. And we're gonna go that Gaussian blur again. Since the dot is too small now, 1 is maybe too much. So Gaussian blur, 1 is too much. Let's go with 0.5. Yeah, that should be enough. From a distance it doesn't show up, but from the real size it shows off enough. Alright. Now, her hair is supposed to be black as well. I don't want them to be entirely black, but I don't want them to be too much showing. Black is a really hard color to work with. Even white is easier to work with than black. Now just we'll finish the eyes. We're at that point, so we'll finish the eye. The eye glare is done. That's all we needed to do. It's a small detail. We're going back to the color base and we're gonna finish that eye. Now, the eye is supposed to be white, but the white of our eyes isn't really white. Nothing is really pure white. Nothing is purely black. If they were, we'd have big problems. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna simulate a bit. We're gonna simulate a bit of white, but warmer tone. Again, one way you can see the real color of your eye is to take a picture of it. I'm just gonna remove that one. Alright, so just put your eyes like this. Make sure you have, and you can look down. Open your eyes wide, look down. Take a picture. And now that you have that, you can see that your eyes are very fucking reflective. As you can see, you can actually see the glare in my eyes. So, and you can see that it's not entirely white. There is this, there are those red lines that are blood vessels and the likes, but they're not entirely white. And thanks to the picture I just took, since I'm white everywhere because green screen, which have problem on that side, we're gonna do a small reddish white. It's not gonna be a big difference, a big thing, but that's gonna be that. Oh, that's gonna be that. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna do that and that, and now we're gonna take we're gonna go with the details. So we're gonna go back to 1. We're gonna go back to red, to our color red. But again, we're gonna put the opacity down to 10% now. And what we're gonna do is just do lines like this. And we don't need much, just a few, like this. Just a few, just saying that there's something in the eye. You don't need much, just like this. It's big, it doesn't seem like much right there, but yeah. That alone makes your eye more. And now you'll see that when we go for shadows, you'll see that these little details we're adding now, when it comes to shadows, it will make things pop even more. Now we're gonna go back to the hair. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our black, and we're gonna go to this black one. Alright, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna make it less black. Like, instead of black, we're gonna make it gray. So this way we can actually recognize the difference between our horns and the hair. Make sure you push everything you need for the hair. Alright. That's good. Now we're gonna go back here, go back to our red. Change it a little bit. It's not gonna be red, it's gonna be orange red. And the reason I'm doing this is this. But here's the catch. Right now we're in 10% opacity. We're gonna set it to 100%. Well, no, not really. We're gonna set it to 75. And what we're gonna do is just do lines like this. But what another thing you can do, because this is gonna take a long time, you can check on the net. There's a lot. It's easy to make a hairbrush. So go for it. We'll take our hairbrush. I think it's this one. Hair 1. Yes, it is this one. So what that does is that it creates these hair-like stuff. I put it to 100 pixels, but what we're gonna do is that we're gonna put them to 10%. So here's an example. So this is orange hair. And the reason it's good to design it that way is because the more you pass with the opacity, the more orange it becomes. But the smaller one on the side will look like real hair, which is almost transparent when you see it from afar. And this goes a right way to doing that. So this is what we're gonna use. So I'll just remove this now. Bing. Alright. And now what we're gonna do is reduce that to about 30 pixels. That's not the best thing, because now it's just one single mush. But it's gonna be enough. So what we're gonna do now is do that. And here's the thing. It's supposed to be more orange or red at the base, because it's the tip that she is doing. So here we go. And now we're gonna do this. Do this. No, do this. We're gonna take the red again. And now we're gonna change it to red. You'll see that I don't care if I just go over the black lines and everything. That's because the color base, which we are on, doesn't take everything. But right now what we want is to do this. Oh, sorry. Alright. So usually what I would do is that when it comes to coloring the hair and everything, I do not just the color base, I do everything else. So what we can do right now, we're just gonna do another layer instead. So we're gonna do this, go back to this. Oops, this is weird. Oh, I removed the wrong thing. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. Just copy the sketch. And we're gonna copy it here. And bring it back in. Which gives us a bit of a problem here, but nothing we cannot solve. Here we go. And now we set it to merge. Character color base. There you go. Alright, yes, okay. We're back in business. Sorry, this was a bit of my mistake. So what we're gonna do is that instead of color base, we're gonna go for color of the hair, which is the bottom here and the bottom here. So what we're gonna do is we can just select this like this. It will select every color and everything. And now we have lines, so we should not be able to go back to anything. So we'll create a new layer. We'll call it hair coloring. And again, we'll set it to normal, and I don't care if it's above. It has to be above the color base though. So yeah. So we're gonna take red directly, go back to what we did, and just go like this. And here we go. Now we're gonna go here and do the same thing here. Here we go. There we go. That's the coloring she has there. And now we can just do the same here. And just go for it like this. But now it's gonna be harder here because of the hands, but that's it. Alright. So here it needs to go back up like this. And you don't want it, you want it to be, you don't want it to look weird or anything. So yeah, it needs something else. Alright. So that's for that. That's for that. Yeah. Now we're gonna fix the leg here because it really screwed me up, and we know that the socks color base is not right either. It has not been colored. Well, it's not the socks. Yeah, it's not the socks. It's the character color base that was not done. So yeah, we're gonna take that again, like this. Just do that. Yeah, there you go. Now, when we're gonna go back to the socks, the coloring of the socks. Add that back. We're gonna dial it again to 50%. So she has her socks. Yeah, so she has her socks coloring, and it's dialed back. Now there's a few things we need to. There's a few things that we need to solve here, like the legs here and the sketch that just does not work correctly. So we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna go back to the sketch. I wonder something. Ah, God, I messed up again. Yeah. All right. Well, our hair colors are now baked into the character color base, which sucks. Because I messed up again. I'll always mess up like that. We don't need a temp sketch anymore, so delete that. I said delete that. Alright. We're gonna put the sketch. Alright, we need to work on the sketch, character color base, we don't touch that. Everything is locked in. Sketch. So now what we're gonna do is remove some lines. The lines at the bottom, mainly, because of the socks and everything. Here's the thing, because the clothing should be above the sketch. So it should not be showing up. But here, because it shows up because we're 50%. That's the reason it show up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove those lines. So well, no. It gives it this, we're seeing the feet below. Yeah, it's nice. We're kind of seeing the feet below because those are socks, transparent socks. Yeah, no, it's right. Alright. Now, the problem we have is those lines. When I made the clothing, I should not have done that. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna use the quick selection tool, put it to save 10, and we're gonna select just what we need. So let's remove the sketch, the clothing, and everything. Oh wow, the socks does everything. Right. I don't want to go beyond that. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna activate everything, and it's the clothing that we want so we're gonna do that. But what we want really is this. And we're gonna erase. We're gonna erase the clothing. We cannot erase anything that does not belong there. So what we want to do is just erase what we want, and that's without going too far. In fact, we could just do this. Just do this and just erase what we should not have been coloring. Like this. And now what we need to do is, yeah, just go back to our clothing. Well, more than that. The clothing base, we're just gonna erase it and redo it. Clothing, duplicate, clothing, color base. Put it beyond, below that. Put it to normal. It's above the sketch because we don't want the lines to show up. Right. So now all of this is there, so this and this is there. The problem is that this line doesn't show up from the clothing. So what we need to do is go back to drawing it, putting back to that, two, and what we're gonna do is just paint it in red. Well, not in red, in black, but yeah. Yeah. I selected everything, so yeah, that's not working. So what we want is this line to be followed. Oh, this is not the right color. Give me a second. I'll just go into to the bathroom and I'll be back. Just give me a few seconds. We're back. We're back. Alright. Basically, so what we're gonna do here is we need to fix this line here. And this is something that I should have done right from the get-go. So what we're gonna do is quite simple, in fact. Yeah, the line exists. So we're just gonna copy it from the sketch. So we're gonna take the lasso tool here and just pick a zone. Or no, we're gonna go back down like this again. Alright, we're gonna take the lasso tool from the sketch and we're gonna take the line. Doesn't matter if we take something else along the way, as long as we take just the line we need. Alright, so we're gonna take that. Make sure we're fine here. Yeah, we are. I'm gonna just copy that. Remove the sketch. Remove the line. Alright, if we take back the sketch and then the line. Yeah, they're equal. So that's it. We're fine. So what we're gonna do now is put that line back into our color base. Into our clothing color base. So here, we're gonna merge that together. Alright. So now if we remove the sketch and then remove the color base, the line is there. Alright, so now we can color the clothing again. I'm gonna do that, make sure it's contiguous, tolerance, and everything, and then go. Of course, I still need to plug that one in. So here we go. We're still needing to do this. We can just do this and then go back in like this and just finish what needs to be done. Bang, bang, bam, and there we go. We're just finishing what we need to make sure there's no white space. Now you understand why it takes me a long time, seriously. I wish I was like people and just be able to draw entire scene in about 30 minutes. That would be great, but no, unfortunately that's not how it works for me. Alright, so now we can just do this. And now we have a... Nope, we don't. It works here, but here we have a problem. It still draws everything, and it should not. I don't understand why. Probably because here there's a bump. There's a problem here. Yeah, it should not be doing that here. So if we go by for the sketch again, we're just gonna add the sketch. And this color as well. Alright. So if we go for the sketch and we remove the sketch, we see that this whole line here is not correct. So we can just complete it like this. Alright, now it's gonna be fine. So we do that, switch, boom. Yeah, that's it. If we bring back the color base, we have these. Alright, we're pretty much at a point where we need to just do that, do our stuff. I love the arm, the way it works now, right there. The one thing I don't like though, it's entire black, and I don't want it to be just black. But that's something that's gonna be hard to do later. So yeah. Alright, sketch can be that way. Is there anything else we need to correct aside from being going to the shadows? I like the socks, the way they're working. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so right now we'd be ready to go for shadows and the likes. I'm going to go back to the color base of the character and just finish that mouth right there. It needs that. There you go. Now everything else that we need is from the shadows. Now this character doesn't look like much right there, and it feels weird for everybody, but with shadows and highlights we can do a lot more. But that's gonna be for another time, because it's already 22:38 and I need to do something else for the game Tuesday, and it is something that is, you see how I do things, and next time, probably tomorrow, we'll be doing shadows and highlights for that character. Usually I would create my own background, but sometimes I would just pick something from the internet and just put it down. But usually I do my own background, so yeah, that's gonna be that. When it comes to the earrings, we're gonna do something there again. We're just gonna do that. It's just a dot that we really need to do, in fact. So yeah, so she'll have two. She needs to have two. No, there's one for each. Alright, including red. So what we're gonna do here is color base. 5 is way too low. 20 is big enough. So here, that's 1. So that's 1. That's 2. That's gonna be 3 right here. They don't look like much either, but that's again something that will show up later on. That's 4. And let's just say she'll have another blue right here. Right now they don't look like much because they're just one symbol dot, but tomorrow we'll be able to do much more than that with shadows and the lights. You'll see them pop. It's really people, what makes a drawing good are really shadows and lighting. It's really lighting. If you don't put lighting on anything, then it looks cartoony and weird. So the rest will be done. Her nose, her mouth, her lips, everything. It seems weird right now, but with shadows and everything, you'll see it start to appear. Alright. So right now I'm just gonna do a little something in the last minute touch on here, because I did something. I just drew above, but that should remain golden. Alright, so yeah, that's about it. Alright, we're gonna save that. That's another thing, you did not see me save at all. You should save every time, every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes or so you should save. So yeah, that's our drawing. That's our let's draw thing. You'll also realize that what can I say? You also realize that I used to do some 10 to 15 minute videos. I may not be going back to that. As I said before, and you did not understand because my mic was off. As I said, between my job, the 3-day stream that I do, and everything else from a video game channel, I don't have time for this channel, for this D&D channel. Me and my friend wanted to do the stream on YouTube for our gaming, and we're doing that, so that's already something that you can see on the channel. But I need more on that channel. I need to do more on that channel, things that people like. And it seems that people can like me drawing, can like me doing stuff about D&D and things like that. So I want to know what you think about all of this. Now we will finish this drawing entirely. It might take time, but we're ready to go for shadows and highlights, and that's pretty much the last thing I do in a drawing. So yeah, we're up to that. Now the last thing I want to say is thank you for everyone who came tonight to see me draw this, see how I draw this thing. And I know the drawing looks weird as shit and just looks like nothing right now. This is something about drawing, is that everybody's drawing looks like shit and nothing at first. But when you look at the final product, it's totally different from what it was from the beginning. And that's pretty much it. So again, I have my D&D Basement, the channel on which you are right now for YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. So there you go, the channel is there, YouTube/D&D Basement. You can see my gaming channel at Chaîne de Jeu, which is French only. And you can talk to me through through my Twitter at D&D Pally. And if you like this video and want to share some money with me just to buy me a drink, there you go. It's right here, right there at the bottom. So yeah, it's in streamelements.com/dndbasement/tip, and you'll see that you have everything you need. So that's about it. Thanks for coming. I really like doing that. I really like this was different, to actually draw instead of playing games. This is different. I like it. So we'll see where this goes. I really like drawing, and I need this time to draw my stuff because I really like drawing my characters. So yeah, thank you for coming and have a nice day. Ciao!